Good morning and happy Friday. So, we have been talking about the power of rituals and success conditioning. You know, um, I saw a thing on Steve Harvey's day, and he gets up at 4:30 or 5 o'clock every morning. I mean, the guy works a ridiculous work day, and the first thing that he does is meditate. And, why is it that so many successful people meditate or do visualization techniques, which is pretty much the same thing, or do incantations, or, do all of these different rituals that we've been talking about? Well, the reason is because they work. Okay, well, why do they work? Well, one of the things to remember as you're going through all of these processes, any time that you're working in any of these technologies that help develop you, so personal development technologies, personal development systems, whatever method you're using in order to do that, one of the biggest things to remember is the reason neurolinguistic programming works so well, the reason meditation works so well, the reason visualization works so well, the reason hypnosis works so well is because your brain does not know the difference between something that you vividly imagine and something that actually happens. The first time that this, obviously the ancients have known this knowledge forever and ever. And if you go back, my wife is getting ready to go on her trip to India, her annual pilgrimage to India. Obviously, the Hindus figured this out long, long, long time ago. And then we forgot it. And so we had to rediscover what we already knew. And the biggest aha moment, I think, in the last 50 years with regards to this technology came in the Olympics. And it came when all of a sudden the Romanians showed up and kicked the crap out of everybody in gymnastics. And it was like, well, how the heck did they do that? How is it that they got so good? Nadia Comaneci, remember that name? Well, it turned out that they spent just as much time visualizing as they did actually practicing. And nobody had ever done that. Nobody had ever thought of that. Roger Bannister talked about that with the 4 minute mile. He had sat and visualized himself crossing the finish line at 1 second below the 4 minute mile, actually a half a second below the broke that 39999 so that he was under 4 minutes. And he visualized that with great intensity using his body again and again and again and again. And then the Romanians did it in the Olympics, and they visualized getting a perfect 10. They visualized doing their routine perfectly and getting a perfect 10 again and again and again and again and again. And what we learned, what we relearned, what the ancients already knew, and what we relearned is your brain doesn't know the difference. And, remember, one of the greatest things that you can do is all of a sudden have a realization of your abilities. I mean, once you accomplish something, isn't it much easier to do? Well, take a look at that 4 minute mile. I mean, once Roger Bannister broke that 4 minute mile, something that doctors said was physically impossible for humans to do, the next year, like 8 people did it. And then the next year, like 40 people do it. And now high school kids do it. The psychology had been broken. Well, we do the same thing with ourselves, don't we? I mean, once you've made a certain amount of money, once you have accomplished a certain task, now all of a sudden it's much easier to do that. Well, when you visualize something vividly, then you're able to do that because now to your brain, you've already done it. And so it just says, okay, well, we've already done this, so this isn't a big deal. So now accomplishing this outcome isn't a big deal. So practice visualization in whatever way works for you. And remember, when you visualize it, it turns out perfectly. So you don't have to worry about doing something wrong. But this is why meditation, this is why success conditioning technologies, all of these things that we're talking about, this is why they're so effective, is because visualization is just as effective as actually doing it. Your brain doesn't know the difference. And when you visualize it, you do it perfectly. So your brain is like, oh, we've already done this, so now it's going to be that much easier. Have a great day, everybody. Mr. Drahobel, thank you for being on here, sir, and thank you for your review to the office. That was awesome. And Mr. Lampy, good morning. Have an awesome day, everybody. Thank you very much for watching. We're all in this together. Let's take care of each other.